The move of the Ukrainian government follows a series of anti-Russian political crackdowns and military buildups that have exacerbated the threat of a full-scale war. In February, the Zelensky government undemocratically shut down 3 popular television stations run by pro-Moscow opposition leader and oligarch Viktor Medvedchuk on the grounds of national security. Medvedchuk was later sanctioned, and Kiev has continued to charge opposition politicians and reporters with treason for backing a negotiated settlement with Moscow over the separatist-controlled regions of eastern Ukraine. The crackdown was predictably condemned by the Kremlin, which argued that it demonstrated that Kiev was attempting to solve the problem of Donbass in eastern Ukraine by force. International monitors in eastern Ukraine have also recently reported a rapid increase in the number of ceasefire violations by both Ukrainian soldiers and Russian-backed separatists. This year, already 10 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed. While Zelensky was initially elected in 2019 on the basis of a rejection of the far-right militaristic nationalism espoused by his predecessor Petro Poroshenko, Zelensky is now adopting a potentially even more reckless strategy. Much indicates that he is being supported in this by the United States. Last week, an op-ed in the Washington Post suggested that Zelensky is desperate to receive a phone call from US President Joe Biden, but is yet to receive one. The op-ed backed Zelensky's recent political crackdowns and urged him to move even more aggressively against Russia. Mr. Zelensky now has the opportunity to forge a partnership with Mr. Biden that could decisively advance Ukraine's attempt to break free from Russia and join the democratic West. He should seize on it, the paper's editorial board urged. Speaking to Politico, a former US official close to the Biden administration was quoted as saying, "There is merit to having Zelensky sit and wait his turn for a call. He is not struggling with all his might to fight corruption." In fact, pro-Russian oligarchs in Ukraine have gained immense power since Zelensky took over. So there needs to be tough love with Zelensky when that one-on-one conversation does happen. Ukraine is highly dependent on military aid and backing from the US in its confrontation with Russia. On Monday, the Pentagon announced a $125 million military aid package for Ukraine, the first distribution of aid to Ukraine under the Biden administration. There is still $150 million left in the allocated 2021 Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative funding appropriated by Congress. However, this money will not be released until the Defense and State Departments jointly certify that there has been sufficient progress made by Kiev on military reform efforts. While Biden has yet to speak with Zelensky, on the 7th anniversary of Russia's annexation of Crimea, the White House released a statement backing Ukraine in the dispute, stating, "The United States does not and will never recognize Russia's purported annexation of the peninsula, and we will stand with Ukraine against Russia's aggressive acts." In its reckless military escalation, the Zelensky government is also driven by a deep social and political crisis in Ukraine itself. Its political support has fallen sharply as the country's economy and healthcare system have been devastated by COVID-19, with no significant vaccination effort in sight. There is a real danger that the Ukrainian ruling class, driven by a deepening domestic crisis, is trying to divert these internal tensions outward, resulting in a war that would threaten the lives of millions.